Okay, guys, I'm going to look at properties of logarithms first. So that's the condensing, expanding stuff. So example 1 says we are going to condense. So we have many, many logarithms. Actually, I feel like this one was our daily quiz, so you can see if you got that daily quiz question right, if you remember it. Either way, because I'm condensing, I want to make sure that I rewrite this as just one logarithm. And then I just write the numbers in order. And so the first number that I have is 4 with an exponent of 1 because there's nothing in front. The next number I have is x. That's going to have an exponent of 3. The next number I have is 2. It's going to have an exponent of -1. And then the last one is a y with an exponent of -1. So if I do that, if I ignore positives and negatives and just treat everything as a positive, then it can all be multiplied. And then any negative that I see, I just need to put that up and make that a -1 exponent. And I find that to be the best way to do this because then I can just move things. So I would rewrite this as log of 4, x to the third. The 2 and the y would both go to the bottom. Shush. You can come in, you just gotta be quiet. So then I can simplify because the 4 over 2. And so we have log of 2x to the third over y. One thing that I noticed when I was checking these is that you guys had a really long divide by bar here. You should not, because you were just dividing the stuff inside of the logarithm, not on the outside. So then for part B, I could maybe do the stuff in parentheses first. We could rewrite that as half log base 2. And then since both these things are being added, we're just going to multiply them. So 3x, and it has to the first. And then 2y, that's also to the first. So then I could multiply that stuff. So I'll have half log base 2 of 6xy. And then half power is really square root, and the whole thing is being square rooted. So we'll have log base 2 square root 6xy. Okay, so example 2 is some more condensing. So for the first one, again, if I just treat this all like plus signs, then I'm just going to move this up and have it be a negative exponent. So we'll have log base 3 of 4x, the whole thing is being squared, plus is going to be a times 2y, that has an exponent of 1, and then times 4xy all to the negative first. Thanks, Rachel. So then when I go to simplify this even more, I could write this as log base 3 of 16x squared times 2y, and then because that's to the negative first, it will all go to the bottom, so 4xy. And so then I can simplify some stuff because the y's will divide out. One of the x's up top will divide out with this guy, and then like 4 can go into 16 4 times. And so we'll have log base 3, 4 times 2 on the top, so 8, x, and then no y's. So I think that's it. So D is similar. The only difference is that it's natural logarithms. And I also noticed this on some of your guys' daily quizzes. I think that you think that's maybe an I, and it's actually an L. So just a thing. So we're going to have natural log of 4 with no exponent. I mean, it's 1. Times 3 to the negative first, because there's a negative, times x to the first, and then times y to the negative second. And so then any negative exponents we're going to move to the bottom, so I'll have natural log of 4x, and then on the bottom, 3y squared. And so then the last one we have is expanding. So you can go through and you can count how many numbers are being multiplied or divided. So since I have 1, 2, 3 of them, I'm going to have 3 natural logarithms. I think this is actually the second question of your daily quiz. The three numbers and letters that I have in there are 2, x, and y. And they all have an exponent of 3. So 3, 3, 3. Because the 2 and x are being multiplied, we'll add them. Because the y is being divided, we'll subtract it. So that's probably the way I would do that one. And then for b, I have 1, 2 numbers. So I'm going to have 2 logarithms. I have an x and a y. X has no exponent. The y has an exponent of 2. They're being multiplied, so I would add, and they're both being cube rooted, which is really the 1/3 power. So that's if you needed extra help with the condensing, expanding stuff. The other video will be solving.